Stop streaming, start streaming. Hello. Yay! We are live at Kara C. Adams YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guess what? It is Massage Monday. How exciting is that? So we're going to be going over a little bit of upper back pain today. I apologize, my hands are cold. This is my friend Joseph, and we are going to work on his upper back. I'm going to show you guys, a lot of times people have upper pain or upper back pain. They also have, like, it just depends how you're sitting. I talked about last week about lower back pain, and that stems from finances. And then you have, like, the middle part of the back. Some people, when they're standing, are sitting wrong. And then the upper back pain, if you're doing a lot of upper body work, like Joseph does a lot of climbing in his line of business, and he does a lot of dancing, and so his is triggered from just using those muscles, like pulling himself up, climbing up things. And for a lot of people, especially tall people with their backs, they like to do this. And so because they're looking down, they're having to look down at other people, or if you're sitting at your desk and you're just like at your desk in really bad posture. So before we begin, grab your glass of wine. Just kidding, it's water. And let's get started. So what I like to do, you've probably seen me do this before, I like to warm up people by climbing on them. So what I do is I climb on top, and if you didn't know this already, but your thighs are, the back of your thighs, your hamstring muscles back here, your biceps, cementinosus, and all those fun little muscles in the hamstrings get really tight, and they pull on your gluteus area, and they pull on your back. So it's all connected. So that's why when you're trying to stretch your back, you might sit in a forward fold or stand, and when you're trying to stretch all that and stretch back here to loosen everything up, you forward fold, you stretch like that. So what we're going to do to loosen up Joseph's muscles and his thighs and the back of his leg is we're going to bend the knee, and then I'm going to pull the leg to the side up here. And so that's going to create all this work in here. You feel that, Joseph? Mm-hmm. So it's going to make the glute work. It's going to be pulling on the hamstrings and stretching all that out. And what you can do is you can directly, as he's in this position, you can take your thumbs and you can push into those hamstrings. And you can just keep pushing. And then you can get into the gluteus medius and the minimus a little bit higher, and the gluteus, the maximus right here. You can press down. Now, if somebody's super tight and it doesn't hurt them, you can take your knee and press your knee into the glute. How's that feel?
That's pretty good.
And I usually put all my weight like on somebody like Joseph, because he works out so much. I just put all my weight on him. And I put this hand on his shoulder right in that scapula area. I should bring my, next time I'm going to bring my skeleton in here, so I'll show you what bones, what areas, your bone marks that you can find. Take this back. We're not going to do another little stretch I usually do, it's usually for the hips, which connects in that direct correlation with the back, but right now we're just going to do a couple moves. So sometimes I have my grounding by putting my knee up here, and I'm using my body weight. And so I'll climb up, and I'm putting my knees in the glutes. I'm avoiding the spine. I never climb directly onto the spine, but I go here and I'll push my toes into their calves and kind of loosen all that up. And then sometimes I'll bend my knees and put a little bit more weight and lean forward. And you can choose to place your hands here. Now, another option I like to do is take my knee and place it just below that scapula, and then press right into it. See there? How's that feel? Yeah, it's really good. We're gonna switch. So I keep one knee in a glute, and the opposite knee goes up right at the upper back area, okay? So that feels really good. And if my hands, if I'm not pressing right, if I'm just going into my wrist and the heel of my hand, I'm gonna probably have more of a carpal tunnel, like irritation feeling. So I wanna press the ball of my hand, just like the ball of your foot, into the body. And I can bend the fingers, but I'm pressing right here. Another option is, if I get really tight, sometimes I just kind of flip my hand like this, and I stretch my extensor muscles, and I'll do one at a time. Then if I get really tired, if I've done a lot of massages in the day, I'll go down to my elbows and press on each side of the spine, in between those shoulder blades, and I'll just press there, and I can pull it back just as much. And that feels really good on his trapezius muscles, because you know your traps go here all the way down to here, and even into the lats and the rhomboids that are along there. So that's what I do. And then sometimes I'll just make fist, and so the knuckles can go in individually into the grooves of the muscles, and that feels nice as well. Right, Joseph? So then I like to sit back, and I'll take hold of the shoulders and pull down, kind of depress those shoulder blades. And then I sometimes take hold of the arms, and I either grab hold of the wrist or I grab right above the elbows, but not on the elbows, because the joints can be tender at times, and I'm gonna pull up. And if he's not coming up very well, he might be super tight, or I just have to create more weight. So I get on my legs, one foot in between his waist and his hand, and the other foot I can plant it on him, and I can pull back, and I can sit back using my body weight. Good job. And release. How'd that feel?
That's good.
Okay, so I shake that out. Another option is when you have some oil, and my preference is coconut oil. If you know coconut oil is really great, it can help get rid of bacteria, healing that bacteria. That's why I like it so much. Great to swish your mouth in it at night. Helps whiten those teeth too, because you're getting rid of that bacteria. So I'm going to take my elbow. I'm going to avoid using my hands. I'm going to take my elbow and place it on the right side of his spine here. And it's close to the spine, so it's the erector spinae muscles, and I'm going to press at a slight angle going towards the spine, but not on the spine. And I'm going to ride my elbow all the way up to the shoulder. Now as I do this, if I want it more intense, all I do is bend my elbow. You feel that, Joseph? You tell me when. Okay, and the more intense you want it, the more you bend. The less intense, the less you bend. And he's breathing really well. He's breathing in through the nostrils, out through the mouth, or in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils, either one. And then I ride it along the shoulder blade all the way around, and I'll come do it on this side. So, did that feel good or what? And for that one, I really like to take my elbow and go in the groove of where the neck and the shoulder are. And I'll press in there, and I'll do the same thing on the side of that spine. I'll press, and this is where you feel a lot of the knots in between the shoulder blade and the spine right here, in that upper trapezius area. And then I'm pressing. Remember, if you want it more intense, and I really encourage you to not do very intense along the lower back, because that can be very tender. So you can do the more intense, like the mid back and the upper area. So those are some really good little tips, and I'll save some more for later, but I'm just going to review. So you can always climb on top, go on each side of the spine, press down, press away. You can use your knuckles, because those grooves are nice to kind of separate those fibers in those muscles and the rhomboids. latissimus dorsi, and then the trapezius, of course. So I'm going to come down on this side. I'm going to bend my body weight here because, as you notice, like I've been doing this, but I've been having my knees bent, but I'm going to get even lower. I'm going to squat. I'm going to go right along the spine, pressing slightly, just a slight invert towards the spine. Elbow, remember, you want to keep it pretty modified here, so maybe 90 degrees with the arm. And then once you get towards that middle back, and notice I'm pressing my body weight against the table so it's easier. My right knee is bent and my left leg's bent, but not as much. It's kind of pushing me towards the table. And then I can bend the arm more if I want it more intense, because the angle of that elbow, see how that's sharp? That's so sharp, and it can penetrate deeper. So when you slowly open up the arm, it's not going to be as intense because you don't have that sharpness of your elbow as much. So we're going to press that, go along that shoulder blade towards the neck, and come on down. And then if you can see, I'm riding along that deltoid, the top of the shoulder, and I can go on the arm. And then I'll switch and I'll go back. Sometimes I use the same arm, sometimes I use the other arm. Just depends on what my body's feeling that day and how many massages people I've worked on. And same thing, you're gonna take it all the way back. And notice, I'm not hunching over, I'm watching my body mechanics as well here. And I'm going very slowly, because if I'm going pretty deep, you want to go very slow so the muscles have time. You're cutting off the oxygen to that area you're pressing on in that muscle fiber. And as soon as you release, new oxygen flushes through those muscle fibers, and it kind of flushes out the toxins and that lactic acid that have built up. So, nice. Good job, Joseph. I think we need to all give Joseph a big round of applause. Yay. All right, you guys. Keep in touch. Massage Mondays. I'll see you tomorrow, and then Wednesday I got a new local business I'm going to be featuring. Everybody have an amazing rest of your week. Remember, Mondays start your week off right. So be motivated, be rested, be excited, eat right, feel great, and remember, take care of yourself. Massage is a great way to take time out and take care of yourself and feel great. And drink lots of water if you're getting massages and if you're giving them.